Hey y'all, how y'all guys doing? I hope y'all having a great Monday. I had to rush real quick. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like bugging out, like I'm about to lose time. But thank you for joining tonight. Let's Face It live show with your coach, Shakima S. Dot Perry. I hope y'all guys are having a wonderful night. Thank you, George. Hi, prophetess, he said, and let's hear it for the coach. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let me just do something real quick. I know this is like in the middle of the show, but I wanted to fix my background real quick. Hold on. Let me put this one on. I know. See, I have a little different background, so I'm gonna keep this one. And sorry guys, I know it's like ghettofied, but let me just make sure everything is good. Okay, everything is good. So I just want to apologize to you guys real quick. And Friday I was supposed to be on, and I was supposed to be doing this particular show. And Micah said, "You love it." Okay, I don't know what that means, but love it. You love it? Okay, great. Uh, so Friday I was supposed to come on to do this particular show, and somehow just it was a lot going on last week, and something happened. I didn't come on, so I said I gotta come on and do this show this week to talk about what we're going to talk about tonight. So we got an awesome topic tonight. Let me put that up in just a moment. And then also, I just want to talk to you guys about the purpose of the show. What is the purpose of Let's Face It? This is something I talk about every single time I get on here, so people understand, and people that are new, they know why I actually do this show. You know, what's the reason behind of Let's Face It? Why do I do this, right? So pretty much the purpose of this show is bringing up topics, issues, different scenarios that people may want answered questions about. Could be about business. I actually have my business background, but it's fine. We're really going to be talking about more so singleness this month. So this month is singles month. So we're going to talk about singles, and also we're going to have some. I'm planning on getting some married people on here as well to talk about marriage and different things to kind of prepare, like getting ready, things like that. Because tonight we're going to be talking about that, about how singleness. So season 2, episode 28. The topic is how singleness prepares you for marriage. Now, I'm not married, but you know, I have a lot of married friends, and certain things they tell me. So this is pretty much some of my knowledge, and also their knowledge. Some of the things that they tell me about when it comes to marriage and different things like that. So I wanted to talk about this tonight because a lot of times people can have a misconception, or you know, want to be married so bad but really don't want to take the time out. So we want to get into more so the issues of singleness. You know, what issues that single people have, right? Because some people are like, oh, some people are married, be like, oh man, I wish I was single. And it's people are married, they be like, I mean, that single, like, oh, I wish I was married. So it's like it's two-sided, right? So we're gonna get into the topic. So let me get into it 1 second. I'm not gonna be on here before you long, but let me get into it. Hold on 1 second. And one thing I want to do, this one moment. Give me a moment. Thank you guys. Y'all so patient. And y'all, if y'all could do me a favor, please share this live video. While y'all on here, share this with your friends and family, because I want other people to be blessed. You know, we're gonna talk about some great topics tonight. So share this live for me. I really, really do appreciate it if you do that for me. Thank you so much. Just share this live video. All right, so let me get into it. So what we're going to talk about is what are some issues that single people have, right? So what are the issues that, you know, because I'm single, right? So what are the issues that single people have? So one of them, and that's probably the first thing that you'll think about, is being lonely. We have an issue of feeling lonely at times. Not saying all the time. Some people feel lonely all the time, but I mean, for me personally, you know, you have those moments of being lonely, right? Another issue a single person have is desires intimacy. You know what intimacy is. You know, desires that special person, desire. And intimacy doesn't have to be really sex. I mean, yes, it's sex, yes, but it doesn't really necessarily have to be only that. Intimacy could be other things, just having that person in your intimate space, right? Desires companionship. So companionship is having somebody around. So like they we struggle and like, man, I wish I had somebody I could go to the movies with or do something with. I ain't gotta, call my girlfriends up every 5 minutes to hang out, So you desire we desire companionship. Another one is the issues that some of us have. I don't have this issue, praise God, but some people do. Envying someone else's relationship. So single people have struggles in envying someone else's relationship. I would say maybe years ago I might have struggled with that, but now I don't. But envying someone else's relationship, that could be a issue that a single person has. Another one is misconception of marriage. So they really don't understand marriage. We don't understand marriage fully. And George said, amen. So misconception of marriage. So not really understanding what marriage is. So that's an issue that single people have because we single. We never been married, right? Also, the last thing I have is not mentally prepared, but want to get married, right? It's some other things too, but not mentally prepared, ready mentally, but just want to get married. Like I gotta get married. I want to get married. So it's like that desperate feeling of I'm not prepared. I'm not doing nothing to be prepared. I just want to be married, and that's that. So that's an issue that single people have. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we get back, I have some resolutions, some things that I personally dealt with and some things that married people have shared with me when it comes to certain things. So I want to give you some resolutions behind what we just spoke about. And also I'm going to give you a personal story of my struggles, my personal struggles, and what things I dealt with, because, I'm going to share with you. Some of you guys already know how long I've been single, how long I've been celibate, things like that. So I want to share some things with you so you guys can have an idea of my situation and what I've gone through. So check out this commercial and we'll be right back. Purpose to Promise Academy, where lives are changed and dreams come true. Learn how to write and publish your book. Learn how to fix and manage your credit, so you can finally get the home of your dreams. Visit us at purposetopromise.com. All right. So it looks like Liza has here. I want to say something. I know that I was tired of hearing about everyone getting married before I was married. Now I'm divorced. There are joys on both sides of the aisle, right? So it's like, so Liza, both sides. So you can actually chime in on what we're talking about tonight. And if you want to share, definitely, comment, because you've been married before, the both sides and each end of the stick, right? So definitely I want you to be interactive tonight because you can help me out, certain things that I may not know. But to get into the issues that actually I want to get into my own personal story. So what I can say is, me personally, I've been in relationships, but I would say single. When I say single, I mean not married. So a lot of times people feel like, oh, if you're single, that means if you had a long-term relationship or whatever, if you had relationship in between the time frame before marriage, I'm not going to say that doesn't count, but it's not considered, that you still considered single until you get married. Because you can get married. I mean, you can be in a relationship and get engaged and then maybe not get married. So this is what I'm talking about. So being single, meaning that you completely single, to being married to a person. So me personally, I have been single, right? Single for almost 16 years. So I've been single for almost 16 years. I had relationships in between, but I have never been married, right? For 16 years. And I have been celibate. So I fell at the beginning, boy, but I've been celibate for almost 15, going on 50, I think it's 15 years celibate. So, my own personal struggles, especially at the beginning, was just the fact of, because I actually, before I became single, or I'm not single, but before I decided to make a decision to be celibate and, live for the Lord and live for God, I was in a relationship, and, I was in a relationship that we were intimate. And the thing is, I think the transition from being single, or not being single, being in a relationship with someone, to making that decision was a very tough decision, because I was used to being with someone. I was used to having that companionship. I was used to having that intimacy, which is really for marriage. I wasn't lonely, even though I did feel lonely at times. And sometimes that's what happens. You sometimes may still feel lonely in a relationship. So it doesn't mean you're in a relationship, doesn't mean you're not going to feel lonely. Some people, don't even talk to each other, things like that, and Liza probably know, like with certain situations, maybe, I don't know, with her personally or other people that she may know. Some people feel like they lonely in a relationship. So with me, I had certain things in this relationship that, that I felt was, at the time, was good, and then it wasn't, and things like that. So I had that time. And then when I transitioned out of that relationship, it was like, it was new for me. It was new for me not to be intimate. It was new for me to, step out of a relationship and things like that. So over the years, because it's been a while, over the years, I had moments of loneliness. I had moments of being lonely. Then I had, with in relationship with somebody, then they drove me crazy, then I kicked them out my life. Let me stop. No, but it was a lot. Like, being in a relationship alone, and people who even know that's been married, they were like, man, a marriage is not easy. And being in a relationship with someone is not easy too, because you kind of try to get to know them and try to, because I had a relationship that this man I was dealing with wasn't doing anything with his life. Like, he wasn't trying to progress, not to go to the next level. Like, I was doing things and he just didn't want to do anything. Like, he was telling me, oh, Shakima, this is what I want to do. But when it came down to it, it wasn't, it was lies, if that makes sense. Because the reason why I say that, because it wasn't I didn't see it over time, and I'm the type of person that I'm like willing to, be open to someone and say, okay, this person is trying, we're cool, things like that. But when I see no progression, you ain't trying, you're not trying to change, you just want to be the same old way. Like, the person was working for, and I'm not trying to knock anybody that does this, right? The person is, like, at the time he was in his mid-30s, and he working for Wendy's. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking him for working for Wendy's, but in some time you have to think like, okay, let me change my career. Let me make more money, right? So it's nothing wrong working for Wendy's, but someone that's in their 30s and there's so much opportunity out there, why would you want to continue to work there? You've been working there for a while. Like, okay, why don't you try something else? I even tried to attempt to help. Say, hey, I help you to find something different, because, you said you're not making enough money, because this is something that he's saying out of his mouth. He's like, I'm not making enough money, complaining about his work, his job, all these different things. So when you're complaining about something, that's not going to change the situation, right? So that means something has to shift. So that situation, okay, I don't want to get too much into relationships, but that situation didn't work out. And then I had times I was just lonely. I felt lonely. Then I had another situation. It wasn't a relationship, but another situation. So, I had relationships over this time of that 15 years. It's not like I wasn't in relationships, but it just wasn't the right fit for me. But I had moments that, of course I wanted to do certain things, but I knew, because of my faith, because I love the Lord, I was like not going to, have sex. That's what and I tell, that's what happens with the men. I tell, and I think that's probably part of the reason why they probably run away. It's because I tell them, I like, look, we're not doing this until marriage. This is something that I promised God, and this is something I promised myself, that this jewel, because I look at myself, my body as a jewel that you have to work for, in the sense of, you got to put a ring on it. You hear me? This is my left hand. I know it looks like my right. You got to put a ring on his hand. That's the it. You're not getting none, period. I had to make that, and this is not really the show itself, but that's my personal story. I have a show at the end of the week. We're going to talk more about that, but that's what, I decided to do, in my own person. But, I had moments that I desired intimacy. I had moments I felt lonely. I had moments that I desired companionship, right? Someone envying someone else's relationship. I never dealt with that like meaning currently, but I have done back in the past and say, what about me? So sometimes you can envy by, what about me? How come they do this? And how come they in this relationship? And I want, so that could be envying someone else's relationship. A misconception of marriage, thinking marriage was just a flow. I had moments that I thought that marriage was, oh yeah, it's this big beautiful thing, this wedding and stuff like that. So I had a misconception of marriage, you know. And also not me being mentally prepared. Like it was years ago, I was like, I want to get married. I want to get married. And I wasn't really mentally prepared for marriage. Now I realize, especially when I was going through my mental thing, I knew I couldn't get married all the way back then, So that's my personal story. But to get into the resolutions of the being lonely. So when it comes to you, whoever's single that's on here and watching the replay, when it comes to you feeling lonely, you need to ask God to help you. Ask God to, strengthen you when it comes to that lonely feeling. And sometimes it's okay to go out. I had times when I felt lonely. I went out, took myself on a date, went to the movies, went out to eat, take myself out, and then I had times I actually, went out with friends and things like that, and I feel that you do need to deal with that loneliness, not to kind of cover it up with friends and things like that, because I have done that, but really deal with it and recognize that you're lonely. Recognize I feel lonely and really pray about it and ask God to help you. So that's what helps you. That's what will help you to deal with that lonely feeling, right? So, desire intimacy. So right now, for a long time, I've been really, really good with that. When I did desire that, I literally, I couldn't do anything. I'm not going to have sex with nobody. So, so desire intimacy. What you can do is pray, also because, especially if you're a Christian man or woman, you're trying to abstain from sex, so pray about it, ask God to help you and strengthen you when it comes to, that mindset of how you feeling about intimacy and things like that. And also know that, you being single, your body is a jewel. Your body should not just be given to anybody. Too, you have to have a self-love. Like people talk about self-love. Self-love is also abstaining from sex, because you loving yourself enough to say, this person needs to put a ring on my finger, or I need to, or this, I want to put a ring on this woman's finger before I give myself away. That's self-love. I want to talk about some self-love. That is self-love, because you're saying you're not giving your body just to anybody. You're not giving it away to just anybody. That's really loving yourself. And I know some people will beg to differ. Some people say, oh, what's she talking about? I don't care. It's not about that. No, because you love yourself and say, no, I'm worth more than that. I'm worth more than a quickie. I'm worth more than a one night stand. I'm worth more than a midnight grind. You know what I'm saying? That mindset's changed. That's self-love. Okay. That's a part of self-love. Also, desire companionship. Sometimes when it comes to companionship, like it's okay to, like I said, to go out, to treat yourself, to hang out with your friends, different things like that. When you desire companionship with someone, that happens. You're going to feel something like, I want that person. And then sometimes, if you meet somebody, become friends with them, maybe go out with them. Like, it's because sometimes, we rush into relationships because we want to get married so quickly. Don't do that. Just say, okay, if you met a guy, you met a girl, hang out with them, be friends with them first. I have a bad habit of rushing into relationships. I do. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be like, oh, I like him. Oh, I'm in love. Oh, so I'm, I got some issues in that area. But I'm learning that I say, you know what, it's okay to be friends. Just be friends with them, get to know them better, get to know them well before you actually jump into this, your heart, put your heart all into it, you know? So companionship could just be hanging out, going to the movies, chilling, things like that. It's okay to desire companionships, but don't let it go to the mill. Don't let it go to the max, if that makes sense. Because I did. I'm just being honest. I did. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take another quick commercial break, and when we get back, I'm gonna give you some more resolutions of the stuff that we discussed in disgusting. Oh my God, not, isn't this not disgusting? Discussing tonight, and I'm gonna give you some more some nuggets. All right, and then also anybody that's married, chime in, help me out, help us out, because I ain't married. So y'all got something to say? Let me know. Let me know. All right, check out this commercial. We'll be right back. Don't have time for your promotional graphics, event flyers, logos? Check out Super Dope High Quality Done For You Graphics. We will create 10 high quality graphics for you. Go to bit.ly/dope graphics one to purchase. This is for a super low price. Let's get to work and grow your business. All right. So we are back at it. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is envying someone else's relationship. Now, this is a big one. This is something that people deal with. And you know, if you dealt with it or you dealing with now, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. You know, because you know, we all desire companionship. We all desire to be with someone. So if you have ever envy someone else's relationship, please don't envy no one's relationship. You know why? Because you do not know what goes on behind closed doors. Don't ever envy no one's relationship, because every relationship has some type of issues, some type of problems. You know, you can see them on Facebook smiling, but they have behind the scenes, they have issues in their marriage, in the sense of not negative issues, but is not 100% all the time. Is not something that's flowery, or you know, rose petals all the time. You know, they have maybe some disagreements, maybe arguments, maybe certain things that goes on in that marriage, but don't envy the marriage. You know, you can be inspired by the marriage, but don't envy. You know, and difference between inspired meaning like, wow, I would love a marriage like that. They seem like they really get along, right? Or that's something like, you know, you inspired by, like, you know, that's something I want, someone like that person, or whatever the case may be. But don't envy it. So George said, I want to get married. Okay, one day you will, George. So so I, you know, don't envy no one's marriage, because you just don't know what it looks like behind the scenes, you know. And even when you get married and when you have that, you know, you want to be in a place of, you know, your marriage is not going to be perfect. No marriage is perfect, period. So don't envy no one's marriage. That's what I would say concerning that. And also a misconception of marriage. Some people feel like marriage, oh, you know, once you get married, all your problems go away. That does not work. You know, if you have problems in your relationship, you're gonna have problems in your marriage. You know, so that's why you have to really be, you know, someone to, you know, really analyze before you get married. Really have the mindset of, you know, that marriage, you know, it's going to have its ups and downs. You know, you cannot misinterpret marriage as this antidote or answer to everything, you know, because, oh, if I was married, then I wouldn't be going through this. Or if I was married, no, you can do everything God has you to do in the sense of your own life. Me personally, I'm not married. I have a house. I have 2 vehicles. I have a lot going on for me as a single person. And God wanted to demonstrate that in my life before marriage, because he's trying to say that I'm your father. I'm going to take care of you. You don't have to have a man taking care of you. I'm going to show you, not saying that my husband can't take care of me when I do get married, but it's not about that. Your mind has to be secured. before you get married. I'm gonna get to deeper into that into the next one, but don't have that misconception that marriage is rose petals, because it's not. It's work. It's just like a job. Literally, people told, and I'm saying this not because I'm married. I'm saying this because people told me marriage is a job. It's like a job. It's like another job on top of your job, because it takes work in marriage, right? So don't have that misconception of, oh, marriage is this, marriage is that. And people think like that. It's true. People really, really think that is like rose petals. Oh, marriage is so, oh my God, I get married. And just love the idea of being married. I love the idea of being married. I like the idea of the wedding and the big celebration. After that celebration, you gotta face that person face to face. You gotta sleep with that person every night. You gotta deal with his issues. You gotta deal with her issues. Everything that marriage is, and then especially someone that's used to being single, you have to share bed with that person all the time. He's always in your face. She's always in your face. It's a totally different ball game. So don't have that misconception that, oh, is great, is gonna, no, you're gonna have great times. Of course, in your marriage you should have more positive than negative, but you're gonna have negative moments. You're both coming from two different backgrounds, right? Some people come from a background that they really, really clean and take care of their house, and then you may come from a background that you may not do that, and that may sprung up an issue in the marriage. Like, yo, you dirty, yo, you too clean, yo, you picky. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying yo. I say I got something yo, but it's just like you're gonna have differences. That's just what it is. That's what it is. Okay, Lara speaking. I believe that if you marry the wrong person, it makes life harder. However, if you marry the right person, it makes life a whole lot sweeter. Okay, Liza, she's telling it. I believe that, but it's just still it's not going to be perfect. Nothing is perfect. And I believe what you're saying is true. Like, if you marry the right person, that's the reason why you start courting, you start to date. You have to date the person first. That's why, and some people get married, and I know people probably knock me aside the head. Some people get married in 2 days, 3 days, 3 months, and they're like, "Oh, my marriage is great," and I got married. I think that you should really get to know the person, somewhat. Nothing is perfect, right, Liza? You're right. So the thing is, really get to know the person, though. Like, I don't think you want to get to know a person in 2 months. I'm just being honest. That's just my opinion. 2-3 months is not enough time to really say, okay, I want to get married to this person. Give it, I would say, at least a good solid year, at least, before you jump that broom, how we say jump the broom. But I don't know about 3 months. That's just my opinion. Now, some people marry in 3 months and ain't together forever. I mean, sometimes it works that way. But you know what happens? A lot of times you learn people in the marriage instead of learning them outside of the marriage. That's why I look at it. When you get married very quickly, you have to learn quicker. Because now you're in this marriage, and now you got to deal with the consequence of what that person has on the other side of that marriage. So in some cases it works, in some cases it may not work. So there's always an exception to every rule. Some people may well, it worked for me, but it may not work for someone else. So it's different for everybody. So that's what I would say when it comes to that. Definitely try to get to know the person as much as you can before you decide to get married. Also, the last thing, and this is the most important thing, not mentally prepared, but want to get married. You got to be prepared for marriage. Okay. You got to be prepared for marriage. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that when you decide to get married and you want to get married, you have to start doing certain things in your life to prepare your mind. How do you prepare your mind? You start walking like you're married. You start dressing like you're married. How do you dress like you're married? You look nice. You look beautiful. Put yourself together, right? If you're a woman, learn how to cook if you don't know how to cook. Because some men like to eat. Now, sometimes you do find men that do cook, but at least know how to cook on your own. Cook your own foods. You're not eating out every night. I hope you're not. That's not good, and you're spending too much money. Learn how to cook. if you don't know how to cook. Get a cookbook, learn how to keep your place nice. Unless you're gonna hire a cleaner and you got money like that, then do that. But keep your place nice, keep your place organized, get yourself ready this personally together. Get your mindset ready in a sense of get your mind cleaned out of your ex-boyfriends, of your ex-girlfriends, what they used to do and what they did not do in the relationship with you. That's the reason why sometimes it's good to stay single for a good year before you get into that real serious relationship, because you thinking about your ex and what he did to you. And then when you get into that situation with the other person, you start looking at them like they your ex-boyfriend or they your ex-girlfriend. You cannot look at the situation like that. You can't. You can't bring what you're doing. You're bringing baggage into the new relationship. You want to start fresh with this person. You want to give this person the benefit of the doubt, right? So you got to get mentally prepared. You got to get physically prepared. That's why with me, I always try to go out when I go out, I try to always dress nice, look nice. Sometimes most of the time I wear my makeup. Sometimes I don't wear makeup, but I still have myself put together. So always be ready for marriage, right? Not just wanting to get married because I just want to get married, but be ready mentally, your mindset, when it comes to paying bills, some people still living at home, get your own place. Don't ever want to say, oh, I want to get married and I want this man to come rescue me out of my mom's house. No, get your own place. Get used to taking care of yourself, taking care of bills and things like that. That's what I suggest. I'm not saying that everybody does that, but I feel like you'll be more prepared. You're not struggling like, oh my God, I don't know how to pay bills, and you want to get married. So you don't have that, you don't have that issue because you're like, I know how to pay bills. I know how to take care of business. Because when that man comes, he's going to be like, wow, she got things together. She ain't all over the place. A man is not looking for a woman that's all over the place. A woman is not looking for a man that's all over the place. Period. It's like they're looking for someone that's more so they're equal, that they can grow together. That's what it's about. So that's what I want to tell you about when it comes to being mentally prepared. I think preparing your bank account and finances is major. That's good. That's a good one, Liza. Yes, be prepared. Put your funds together. Like even with me, I'm not married. I'm building my wealth. I'm building my business. Me being a full-time entrepreneur. The Lord is just He's getting me ready. So when my multi-million-dollar husband comes, praise God. Let me stop. My multi-million-dollar husband comes, he be like, she a millionaire too. Oh, come on, millionaire, come together. What's that? That cartoon says, Wonder. Was it? No, it said, it's an old cartoon. I forgot what it was. I can't even think of it. But it's like superpowers activate or something like that. But anyway, but that's what it is. It's like, you want to meet that equal. When God wants to elevate you and He's pushing you to do more, and He does that to me, He's trying to show you that your husband is going to be on another level than you. Or y'all may be on the same page, but he's not going to be able to see you if you still living in your apartment and you ain't progressing, you ain't doing anything with your life, So you got to be mentally prepared. You got to be focused. You got to be prepared for marriage. So that's why being single kind of helps you. And one thing I'm going to say this, and we about to end this in a minute. Another thing, right? That when it comes to being single helps you to find out what you want and what you don't want, right? So what it does is it builds you up as a single person, and it helps you to be content being single. So always be content. Never want to rush into marriage because you want to be married. Be content being single. Like I feel good. Like me personally, I feel good being single. Yes, do I want somebody? Absolutely. But I'm content. I'm okay with being single. Don't ever feel like I want to run away from my singleness. I want to run. I'm scared. I'm desperate, because you know what's going to happen in that marriage? You're going to be clingy, and a man doesn't want a clingy woman, and a woman doesn't want a clingy man. So when you content with yourself, you okay being by yourself. You be like, even when you get married, you like, babe, I want to go out. I need a break. Like, not like that, but I want to go out. I want to go out with my girlfriends. I want to go out. So always be ready. That's why it's good to be single. That's why singleness prepares you for marriage. It helps you to get to know you. Sometimes you need to talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. Get to know who Shakima is. Get to know who you are. What do you like? What do you not like? Right? It's just like getting to know a person. Get to know yourself. Sometimes we don't even know ourselves because we want to jump in and out of relationships and we don't have no identity. We don't want that. So what I would say to you, get to know you. If you're single, don't be so desperate to be in a relationship. Don't be so desperate to get married. Get to know you first. Once you know you, then you're going to know what you're going to tolerate, when you're not going to tolerate, and you know what type of man you want, what type of woman you want. So get to know you. That's what I would say concerning that. So be prepared mentally. And then another thing I want to share with you. So I have a Bible verse here. So the Bible says, this is what the Bible says. For your husband is your maker. The Lord of hosts is his name. And your Redeemer is the Holy One of Israel, who is called the God of the whole earth. Isaiah 54:5. And what that basically saying is, when you're not married, your husband is God. That is your husband. That is your wife. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's who you need to focus on. When you focus on God and focus on him, that man or woman of God or the person you're looking for is going to show up. It's going to show up. What she say here? Okay, Liza said, it is a benefit to be able to work on yourself without the distraction of and interference of someone else. Absolutely, 100%. So you have to focus on God. A lot of times we focus so much on wanting to be married. We need to get right with our creator, which is the Lord. Once we get right with the Lord, God start dealing with the internal stuff that he needs to deal with. Because some things that, we can't fix ourselves. God has to help us. So in the meantime, God is your husband, not saying he's your husband physically, but he's your spiritual husband to kind of get you together and get you ready, get your mindset right. So when that time comes, then you can have your husband, you can have your wife, or whatever the case may be. So that's what that scripture means. God's not saying he's physically, because he can't physically do anything with you, but spiritually, he's your guide, he's your father, he's your husband, he's everything, he's your brother, he's your sister, he's your auntie, your uncle, everything. He's everything. That's what he's trying to say. I'm everything. I'm your husband, I'm your wife, I'm your everything. So don't ever feel like you're alone, because you're not alone. And know that you're not alone. You're not alone. You're never alone. And that's how I feel. I'm never alone. So I don't feel lonely because God is with me. So know that you are never alone. All right. So when you focus on being prepared for your marriage and not being desperate, then God will send the right person that will complement you and what you need and desire in a spouse. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, put it in the comments. I'm going to grab something real quick and I'm about to get off of here. I've been on here for a minute. So if y'all got any questions, please put it in the comments. So if y'all guys saw that last commercial, let me look here. Hold on. I think I put it here. All right. No, that's not it. Okay. So if y'all guys saw that last commercial, I create, it's called Dope Graphics. Super Dope Graphics, done for you graphics. So I actually do it for you. So I came out with this maybe about a few weeks ago, maybe about 3 weeks ago. I was doing 10 graphics for you for the price of 2, because graphics, when you create graphics, normally it's $50 per graphic people charge. You want a graphic, you're paying $50, right? I did a special at the time for 10 graphics for the price of 2. So pretty much it's 10 graphics for $97, right? That's a lot of graphics, right? And it became too overwhelming, very high demand. People want their graphics, things like that. I said, I can't do it no more. So I'm going to do this for the next 5 days, only 5 days, right now until Friday. If you want to get the 10 graphics for the price of 2, go to bit.ly/dope graphics 1. So if you have a business, I can create logos, I can create event flyers, business promotion flyers, all those wonderful things for it's 10 graphics. Now, what's going to happen is going to change. I'm still going to have the graphics for $97, but it's only going to be 3 graphics package. It's no longer 10. So only 5 more days. I am keeping this offer to do 10 graphics for the price of 2. Go to bit.ly/dope graphics 1 if you want this graphics package, okay? Because it's going to go from 10 to 3. That's 7 gone. All right. So if you're interested, go to bit.ly/dope graphics 1. If you thought about it, say, hey, I thought about doing Shakima graphics, because if you check out my page, I do some great graphics. I did some for my clients the other day. Came out really, really nice. So check out this link if you want to get it for 10 graphics for the $97, because it's going to 3 graphics for $97. And it's really, be honest, is what you're still getting a bonus graphic, because it's 2 graphics really for $50 a piece. You're getting a bonus graphic for 3. So you're still getting a great deal. But this is an amazing deal. This is like outrageous deal, okay? Because even someone that I did a graphics for, she was like, Shakima, I normally pay like $50 for this, $40 for this. I was like, yes, I know. And I literally doing a lot of work for not a lot of money, but it's too overwhelming. It's a high demand. People want these graphics, so I have to change it. So 5 more days, grab this package, okay? bit.ly/dope graphics 1. All right. So one more thing I'm gonna share with you, and I'm gonna be out of here, out of your hair. So if you're interested in being part of the show, purpose2promise@gmail.com. You can email me. If you want to be a guest on the show, I would love for you to be one of my guests. Absolutely. No problem. Just share with me what you want to talk about, and I will definitely be helping you to get everything set up, and you can be one of my guests. Also, if you have any show topics you want us to discuss, let me know, and we'll do that as well. Okay. So email me, purpose2promise@gmail.com. So it looks like we don't have any questions tonight. If you do have a question, put the questions in the comments after this live video. And I'm about to be out. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please, if you joined this live or you watch my replay, please share this live. I want other people to be blessed by this broadcast tonight, okay? So you guys have a great night. And what we gonna do? What? Let's face it. Have a great, great night. Peace.